Hey guys, I wanted to make this video to walk you through our second MELCon and all the steps. It's going to be very similar to the video that accompanied the first MELCon. I'm going to try and make it as quick as possible, but I encourage you to watch until the end because I do think that, especially with us being all remote currently, this is going to break down the steps enough so you feel like you are confident in your ability to get this done. So this is going to be number 7 in our week 7 list, Tuesday to Friday, assignment number 25, Priscilla and the Wimps, MELCon. So let's walk through this. You are going to have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That is 4 days this week to work on creating your MELCon paragraph for the short story Priscilla and the Wimps. Like all assignments, it's going to be due on Sunday, in this case, December 13th by midnight. Turning this assignment in late will result in a late penalty of at least 5 points. So you need to make sure you get this in on time. You have 4 school days, and you have 2 days on the weekend if you need it to get this done. So that should be more than enough time. And you're going to have lots of opportunities to receive help if you need it as well, which I'll talk about in a minute. So do not put off starting this. I know you have lots of time. I know you have other classes, but the reason I've given you this much time is because I want to make this as easy as possible for you. So do yourself a favor and start early so we know what we're getting into and how things are going, and then hopefully maybe we finish early and we can work on some other stuff. So you should have read the story Priscilla and the Wimps yesterday, which was Monday, if you're following the suggested schedule that I post in Classroom. You should also have done an assignment which required you to answer some questions about the story. I think it might be a good idea to look back at that assignment because you need to answer some of the questions with quotes. So you might have some potential quotes that you could use in this paper right here. So just know that is one option for you, one resource that you might consider looking at. I made a checklist of the steps to follow and the order to do them in order to successfully complete this assignment. So first things first, if you haven't read the story, that's something you need to do. The story is posted. There's also audio for it. It's a 2-page story. I think the audio is about 7 minutes, so it's not a very long read. But that is the first step, is making sure we've read the story, because that's what we're going to be writing about. Number 2, you're going to open up the MELCon paragraph prompt and pick one of the prompts to answer. Pick whichever one seems easiest to you. You're just answering one of the questions. So let's take a look. So we have the text here if we need it. It's in other places in Classroom as well. But the text is here. The audio link is at the top of the story if you'd like that. Here's the paragraph prompt, so let's check that out. All right, really the most important thing on this document is going to be the highlighted stuff right here, the prompt choices. Very similar to the first MELCon that we did. So you're picking one of these 4 questions, just one, and you're going to write one paragraph as a response to that one question. Characterization, what is a personality trait of the main character? Internal conflict, what is the main internal conflict the main character deals with? So I want you to remember, if you pick this one, you need to talk about internal conflict, which is conflict against some sort of feeling, emotion, a thought, something inside, internal, not something that is outside or external, a person, an object. That's not what the question's asking for. Setting, how does the setting affect the story's events or outcomes? So a couple people last time, when they picked this question for the sniper, they just talked about the setting, but they didn't really say how it affected the story. So if you pick this one, you're going to need to say how the setting affected the story. Why is it important? All right. And then the last one, theme, what is the message of the story? There's many different options for that. All right. So those are the questions. You need to pick one of them. There's some tips and other things like that on this document that you're more than welcome to look at, but that is the main thing here, okay? The highlighted stuff, the prompt choices, you're picking one. Number 3, we're going to open up the student rubric. It's 50 points, all right? So it's the same setup as last time with a minor adjustment. So here's the rubric. We're going to open that up. Main idea, evidence, link, concluding sentence or concluding statement, and citation. Those are 5 things. Each of them are worth 10 points for a total of 50 points. You can see the lowest A is 45, lowest B is 40. It's just increments of 5 because it's out of 50 points, 10%. All right. The adjustment this time, if you make any of these errors, you are going to lose points for those automatically. All right. So if you make a mistake with homophones, this is stuff we've talked about, stuff we've practiced. You need to make sure you're using the homophones correctly. And you're also proofreading to make sure that you've checked your work. Spelling, capitalization, if we're missing some transition words, our MLA heading. So we talked about MLA last week, so we need that correct heading with the correct way the date is written. You need to title your paragraph. You probably should be including the title of the work in your paragraph somewhere, double spaced, and then we indent at the beginning of the paragraph. These are things that we need to make sure we include. So these are things that have been talked about either earlier in class or last week when we talked about MLA. So that's going to be something you're responsible for, an additional responsibility this time. But I'm not going to really read this to you. You're free to check it out. This is what I'm going to use to grade your final draft, just so you know what I'm looking for, how things are looking, all that good stuff, okay? So that is there for you if you want to reference it and use it. Number 4, open the graphic organizer. Think of this as a rough draft. It lists all the elements of MELCon that you need, and it gives you a spot to do that work as well, do that writing. So here it is. If you need to, you can click here and go back to the prompt. I would recommend copying and pasting whichever prompt you pick and putting it here, just so you know you can easily look back to what the question is when you're working. This is not something that you need to include in your final draft. I just thought this would be helpful, a space for you to have that so you can easily see it while you're writing. There's also a list of transitions if you'd like to utilize those. So main idea, transition, context, our evidence. What do we use for evidence? That's a question we need to ask ourselves. What do we always put after that type of evidence? Citation. Our parts of our link, transition, and then our concluding statement. All right. So you need to include all of this. This is a good way to make sure that we are hitting all the points that we need to in a MELCon. You're not always going to have something like this. Probably the last time you're going to see something like this. You're going to have some more basic, watered down versions of organizers in the future, because you should hopefully be starting to remember this stuff and how to do it on your own instead of needing all that prompting, okay? But this is your rough draft. This is where you can work to develop your writing and develop your ideas. So we're going to write through that. And then once you have successfully finished your graphic organizer, move on to the paragraph template. This is where you will type your final draft in MLA formats, all right? The format is not included for you, and you need to fill in the format on your own, as well as type your paragraph. So you're typing your paragraph, and you're doing MLA format on this document. I'll show you that in a second. A list of what to include in MLA format is attached below. So there was a video lesson last week that hopefully you got to take a look at. There was a quiz that we took over it. This is something we should be pretty familiar with. But if not, there is a requirements list below that tells you the different things you need to include in MLA format, as well as a slideshow and a video that help walk you through how to do all the MLA steps if you need those. So it is your responsibility to get that done on this draft. Not only are you typing your paragraph, you're typing your header, the page number, everything else that you need to do for MLA format. Font, the size, the type, spacing, a title, all of that stuff. Okay, so let's take a look at this briefly. Here's the template. It's literally just a blank document for you to type your final draft in, and then it gives you this reminder. Use the MLA resources attached to the assignment in our Google Classroom tab to format your final draft properly. Delete this. So this is just a reminder that this is what you need to do, but then start typing your header over here, your title, your paragraph. Don't forget your page number up top. This is your document to do your final draft on. You're just responsible for doing that formatting, okay? And remember, we will lose points if we do not do that. So if you have questions, ask. If you need some extra help, here's a reminder, an MLA requirements list. So page number kind of gives you like a general template and then an example. Same here with the header in the left corner. Title, Times New Roman font, size 12 font. We're indenting at the beginning of paragraphs. So that is just kind of a quick cheat sheet. But if you need a more detailed guide to get you through this MLA formatting, you have these slides. They literally walk you through each step and how to do it, all right? As it continues to load, hopefully it gets here quick. There we go. All right. For example, the page number, it tells you everything you need to do in order to get that on your Google Doc, and then it gives you an example of what it would look like at the end. Same thing with heading. Same thing with title, the font, the paragraphs, all that stuff, all right? So this is here for you. If that doesn't work for you, there's also a video going through this and explaining how to do it and also showing you how it is actually done. So you get a visual and you get to hear how to do it. So all of these things are here for you to help you do that formatting as you are typing your final draft. Next, proofread and spell check. Obviously, those are points that we do not want to miss. Those are very easy things to fix. Did I include a citation? Did I include a quote? Did I capitalize proper nouns in the beginnings of sentences? Did I put periods at the end of sentences? Did I do my MLA formatting? That's the type of stuff we need to be looking at. And then once we are done with that, go ahead and turn this in. It is due by Sunday, December 13th at midnight. A couple things to point out. Here's my email. Please email me if you have questions. Please. I'm here to help. I want this to go as well as it possibly can for you, so let me help you if you have questions. Also, I'm going to be hosting a Google Meet every day during our normal class time. Feel free to come. You're not required, but it is an option for you if you'd like to come. I'll be doing some refreshers on different parts of MELCon, MLA, and then I will answer any questions that anybody has. They will not take a long time. You can pop in and out. You're not required to come, but they are there to help if you need it, all right? So that is our assignment. Once again, 50 points. It's due Sunday, December 13th. You have Tuesday through Friday, plus the rest of the weekend if you need it. It's going to go well. I'm looking forward to reading your work. I'm looking forward to answering your questions and talking with you more about this. So keep it up. It's the last big writing assignment we're going to have this quarter. So keep it up. Keep working hard. You're almost there. I'm proud of you, and I'll talk to you soon.